Have you ever wondered why some people keep failing again and again? No matter how hard they try, no matter how much effort they put in, success seems to slip away from their hands like sand in the wind. This is the story of a young man named Ishan Verma, who discovered the painful truth behind his repeated failures, and how one conversation changed the entire course of his life forever. Ishan was born in a small town surrounded by green fields, narrow roads, and the simple rhythms of village life. He was the kind of child who stood out, curious, sharp, and full of dreams. His parents believed he would achieve something extraordinary one day. Teachers praised him, relatives admired him. Everyone said, "This boy will go far." And Ishan believed them. He worked hard in school, stayed up late reading books, and often looked at the stars, imagining a future where he would make his parents proud. But life, as it often does, had other plans. His first major failure came in his final school exams. He had studied for months, but when the results came, his marks were below average. He laughed it off, saying, "It's just one exam. I'll do better next time." Next came college entrance tests. He failed again. Then he tried to get a decent job. Rejections piled up. Later, desperate to prove himself, he borrowed money from relatives to start a small business. It failed within a year, then another business, and another failure. Every time he fell, he told himself, "Next time will be different." Every time, he promised to try harder. But every time the result was the same. People who once praised him began to whisper. His relatives stopped asking about his work. Even his parents, though they never said it aloud, had disappointment in their eyes. And deep inside, Ishan began to break. One night, long after everyone had gone to sleep, Ishan sat alone in his room. The flickering yellow light of a small bulb cast long shadows across the walls. Books lay open, notes scattered across the floor. Red marks covered his test papers like wounds. In the corner of the room sat a pile of unpaid bills. He buried his face in his hands, his chest tight, his mind spinning. Tears rolled down his cheeks. "Why?" he whispered. "Why does this always happen to me? I work hard. I give my best, and still I fail. What's wrong with me?" The clock ticked quietly, but offered no answers. He looked out the window. The world was asleep, peaceful, while his own mind was a storm. For the first time, he began to believe that maybe he was cursed. Maybe success simply wasn't meant for him. The next morning, he left his house without a plan. He walked aimlessly through the narrow lanes of his village. The sun was bright, but his thoughts were dark. He passed children laughing, men working in the fields, women drawing water from the well. Everyone seemed to have a place, a rhythm, a purpose, and there he was, lost, empty, tired of fighting a losing battle. Eventually, his feet brought him to the old banyan tree at the edge of the village, a place where he often came as a child. Under its massive roots sat an old man in white robes, Master Arvind, a wise teacher known for his calmness and simple lessons. Around him, children sat in a circle, listening intently as he told them stories of life and virtue. When the class ended and the children ran off laughing, Arvind looked up and saw Ishan standing there. "Young man," he said softly, "you carry a storm upon your face. Sit down. Tell me what troubles you." Ishan sat beside him. For a while he said nothing. Then, with a shaky breath, the words came pouring out. "Master, I try again and again, but every time I fail. I study, I work, I plan, but nothing works. Maybe life is unfair. Maybe I'm just not meant for success." The old man nodded slowly, not interrupting, just listening. When Ishan was done, Arvind smiled gently. "My son," he said, "failures repeat themselves not because life is against you, but because you repeat the same mistakes. knowingly or unknowingly, Ishan frowned. But I try harder each time. I put in more effort, more hours, more focus. And still, nothing changes. Arvind picked up an old clay pot beside him. It was cracked, chipped, and dry. Holding it up, he asked, "If I pour water into this pot, what will happen?" "It will leak," Ishan replied. "And if I pour water again and again?" "It will still leak," Ishan said quietly. Arvind's eyes twinkled. "Exactly. And that, my boy, is you. Every time you try, you pour in your energy, your time, your effort. But the cracks within you, your bad habits, your excuses, your impatience, your lack of discipline, make it all leak away. No matter how hard you try, until you fix those cracks, the result will always be the same." Ishan stared at the pot. His heart pounded. It felt as though someone had opened a window inside his chest and let the truth rush in. Then, Master Arvind reached into his cloth bag and pulled out a small mirror. He handed it to Ishan. "When you fail," he asked, "whom do you blame?" Ishan hesitated. "Sometimes luck, sometimes people, sometimes the system, and never yourself," said Arvind, his voice calm but firm. "That is why you fail again and again. Because you are so busy changing your plans, your surroundings, your methods, but you never change yourself. You keep pouring water into the same cracked pot. You switch books, switch strategies, switch paths, but not your patterns. Until you repair your inner self, all your effort will leak away." Ishan looked into the mirror. For the first time, he didn't just see his tired reflection. He saw himself. He saw the wasted hours spent on distractions, the times he said tomorrow and never acted, the moments he quit when things got hard. His eyes welled up again, not with frustration, but with realization. "Then what should I do, Master?" he whispered. Arvind smiled and placed a hand on his shoulder. "Stop repeating. Start reflecting. Don't ask, 'Why did I fail?' Ask him, 'What did I learn?' Every failure is a teacher, my son. But if you don't learn, the teacher will keep returning, wearing a different face each time. Failure itself is not your enemy. Repetition without correction is break your patterns, and you will break your failures." That night, Ishan couldn't sleep. He kept replaying those words in his mind. For the first time in years, something inside him shifted. He realized he didn't need to work harder. He needed to work differently. The next morning, he began small. He made a schedule and kept. He cut off distractions. He stopped blaming others and started taking responsibility. He learned from every mistake, noting what went wrong and how to fix it. Some days were tough. There were moments when he felt like giving up again. But then he would remember Master Arvind's cracked pot and keep going. With every effort, every reflection, every correction, the cracks began to heal. Months passed. Slowly, results began to change. He passed his exams. His business started to grow steadily, but more than that, he felt peace. He was no longer fighting against life. He was working with it. For the first time, success didn't slip away. It stayed. One evening, Ishan walked down the same road toward the banyan tree. The sun was setting, bathing everything in a golden glow. There sat Master Arvind, surrounded by laughing children, telling them stories just as he always did. Ishan stopped a few feet away. He smiled quietly. He didn't say a word. He didn't need to. His calm eyes, his confident walk, his quiet success, they spoke, louder than words ever could. He had repaired his cracks. He had changed his vessel. He had changed his life. So, remember this, you don't fail again. And again because life is unfair. You fail again. And again because you repeat the same patterns without change. Failure is not permanent. Repetition is. Success doesn't come to those who keep trying the same way every time. It comes to those who learn a new way each time they fall.